Arteta refuses to rule Odegaard out of Spurs game, says Star's always available. 7 hours ago/Audi, Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta is not ruling captain Martin Odegaard out of the North London derby. The Gunners face rivals Tottenham on Sunday at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, but may be without Odegaard, 25, who poses as a massive doubt. The playmakers suffered an ankle injury during Norway's Nations League clash with Austria on Monday. The ex-Real Madrid star limped off the pitch in tears. Following a rough challenge from Christoph Baumgartner, the Norway international was later seen on crutches while boarding a flight back to London. Arteta, however, revealed Arsenal doctors have yet to reach a final decision as to whether Odegaard will play against Spurs. The Spanish tactician hinted there will be a late call and left all potential scenarios open. Arteta said in his pre-match press conference, "I leave it to the doctors. Players with 48 hours to go are always available. Let's see what happens." Arteta, who signed a new contract that ties him to the Emirates until 2027, is facing quite a midfield headache as Declan Rice is suspended and summer signing Mikel Merino is injured. The Arsenal manager may also have to make a late call on Riccardo Calafiori. Calafiori also picked up a knock during international duty with Italy after a freak clash with France's Ousmane Dembélé last week. Arteta said, "He's another one where we'll have to wait another day." Arteta reveals he decided to sign Sterling just seconds into his conversation. 17 hours ago/Audi, Mikel Arteta had decided to sign Raheem Sterling on transfer deadline day after just 10 seconds into a phone call with the winger. This Sunday's crunch North London derby between Arsenal and Tottenham is set to be Sterling's first in the Gunners squad after sealing a loan move from Chelsea. The England international had been jettisoned by the Blues and desperate to find a move elsewhere. Arteta, who was Manchester City's assistant manager during Sterling's time up north, picked up the phone and offered him the lifeline of joining Arsenal. Arteta said, "The first call I had with him, I knew in the first 10 seconds we have to bring him because he really wanted it. That was my only question mark. What stage is he at in his career?" After 10 seconds, I knew already before the next questions that we needed him here. What I see is hunger. He's a player that wants to play every minute of every game. You can feel it walking through the door. We are better with him. He's going to make us better. Arsenal are nervously awaiting the results from further tests on Martin Odegaard's ankle injury. The Gunners captain sprained his ankle playing for Norway on Monday and was seen boarding a plane back to London with crutches. Some reports have suggested that 17-year-old Ethan Nwaneri could be handed a shock start, replacing the Norwegian. On whether he would have any qualms of throwing the teenager into such a big fixture, Arteta added, "We have to adapt to throughout the season, because of injuries. It has happened very early, since the second game. The bench against Brighton was very different to the one we probably all expected. We have to face it and use the opportunity as the kids have given us a lot of hope and right reasons to count on them. If we have to, then we will, for sure." Arsenal 11 vs Tottenham, Odegaard injury latest, confirmed team news and predicted lineup. Gunners facing a midfield headache for the North London derby. Arsenal striker Gabriel Jesus is expected to be back fit for the North London derby at Tottenham. The Brazilian missed the past 2 Arsenal games due to a groin injury, but Jesus is back in training and hoping to be in the squad for Sunday's trip to Spurs. Gabby was out there, training, Arsenal boss Mikel Arteta said on Friday afternoon. He's got another session tomorrow and if everything goes well he'll be ready to be selected in the squad, which is great news for us. Arsenal are expected to be without captain Martin Odegaard, who injured his ankle on Monday night playing for Norway. "We need some more tests," Arteta said on Friday. "Let's see what happens in the next day or so. Let's see the extent of the injury and how quickly we can get him back. He's super positive about everything. Martin wants to be here every day, but we have to wait and see." Asked if he was hopeful over the prognosis, Arteta said, "I leave that to the doctor. Odegaard was injured on international duty for Norway. Odegaard is willing and he wants to be present in every game, especially a big game like this one. We need to make sure we know first how good he can be or not. Players with 48 hours are always available. Let's see what happens." Riccardo Calafiori, who picked up a knock playing for Italy over the international break, is also a doubt. Mikel Merino, shoulder, Kieran Tierney, hamstring, and Takahiro Tomiyasu, knee, are both set to miss out. The fitness issues could force Arteta to change formation, especially given the fact Declan Rice is suspended. The England star was sent off in Arsenal's last game against Brighton, meaning they are light on midfield options. Jorginho and Thomas Partey could start together for only the third time, playing as a double. Ahead of the North London derby, Mikel Arteta has given an update on a host of players' availability. including skipper Martin Odegaard. Our skipper was forced off with an ankle injury during Norway's Nations League game against Austria on Monday, and has been being assessed by our medical staff upon his return to London. That has put his participation at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in doubt, and Mikel offered this update when asked about it in his pre-match press conference, as he hopes to have his captain available as we aim to record a third straight win at the home of our neighbors. We need some more tests, so let's see what happens in the next day or so, he said. Let's see what happens. What the extent of the injury is and how quickly we can get him back. He's super positive about everything. We know Martin, he wants to be there every single day, but we have to wait and see. He's willing, there's no question about that. He wants to be present every game, and obviously in a big game like this one, but we need to make sure that we know first of all how good he can be or not. Players with 48 hours to go are always available, but let's see what happens. Read more. 5 obscure stats about North London Derby history. With Declan Rice suspended following his red card against Brighton Hove Albion last time out, our midfield options have been further impacted, with new arrival Merino picking up a shoulder injury during his first week at the club. That will see him remain out of action for a while, but Mikel was pleased to report that the Spanish international is on the mend and making the most of his time out to brush up on our playing style to aid a speedy transition into our first team upon his return. It's a slow process because it's a bone and it takes a while to heal, Arteta added. He is progressing well and is already doing some stuff. He is working extremely hard, and we're using this time to make sure that he understands a lot of things that